Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast. I'm Joel Osborne. He is Sam Hardy.
Hello.
We're here every Wednesday on all major podcast providers and on YouTube. And Sam, before we get things started, we have a birthday in the house, don't we?
Oh, whose birthday is it, Joel?
Well, it'll be none other than yours.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Grand old age of 32. I know I don't look much older. But yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Anything special planned for today? Or
we're going to this Lebanese restaurant tonight called Lona on Gloucester Road. Mate, I saw a nod from over here from one of our guests. Have you been? Don't say anything. Have you been? Yeah, okay, so
our guest is nodding.
Our guest is nodding. We've been to a Lebanese restaurant tonight. We're getting all the koftas, we're getting the chicken, we're getting all the good stuff, you know, so should be good.
Great stuff. Sounds good. Well, it should be another great thing you got planned for today is obviously this podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I wanted my birthday on a Wednesday so we could do the podcast as a present, mate.
Well, your wish is our command. Happy
amazing.
Birthday,
Thank you, mate.
Hope you have a great day. And we've got a great episode planned here in the cards. We've got two guests talking about two big wins at the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Which we'll get onto later on in the podcast. One thing before we introduce this week's guest is last week we asked fans that are listening on Apple Podcasts to send in a review. We did get one review on the Apple Podcast feed, but it was just one emoji long, and it was from Pasquale Landolfi.
What? Pasquale put a review on his own podcast?
No, he did, and it was a goat emoji.
Nice.
So, thanks for that, Pasquale. I really appreciate it. But if you've got if you've got something you want to say about the podcast, leave us a review, and we'll read them out on the next episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast. Jam-packed episode for you this week because obviously we spoke about two big wins to talk about. But I think we should get on to introducing this week's guest, Sam.
Absolutely.
Joining us this week are none other than Brandon Mahan and Malcolm Delpeche. Fellas, how's it going?
Back, let's go. Good to be back.
Cue air raid siren. That's a great timing there from you, Sam. Fellas, how are we doing? Welcome to the podcast. Malcolm, your second time here on the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Yeah, couldn't get rid of me.
Brandon, this is your first time here on the podcast. Welcome. How's it going?
It's pretty good.
Brandon, obviously this is your first time here in the studio. What do you think of our little setup here in the studio? You a fan?
I am a fan.
Yeah?
It's a great setup. I didn't watch a couple podcasts.
Have you ever done any podcasts before? Is this your first one?
This is my first one. This will be my first one.
Well, I'm not going to lie. This is a pretty cool setup. If you go do another one elsewhere, it probably won't be as cool as this, I'm afraid. So your first one's like a good experience, hey, Joel?
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, you are originally from Birmingham in Alabama, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Bama Made, I keep seeing on social media. All your friends keep commenting on our Instagram posts. You got a lot of friends cheering you on from back home?
Yes, sir. Definitely. I got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about what life's like in Birmingham. Have you ever been to the Birmingham in England? Is what we want to know.
No, sir. I ain't never been yet.
There is a Birmingham in England. Probably a lot different than the Birmingham you're used to in Alabama.
Arguably, both places have accents which are hard for people not from there to understand fully.
Yeah, we were almost talking about whether we need to put some subtitles on this episode because we brought Brandon on. However,
don't be rude, Joel.
However, Brandon, when we get you down to Birmingham here in England, you'll notice there is another very thick accent over there. Have you ever seen the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix?
Yeah.
So that is the accent you can expect when you go over to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Don't do that to us, Joel. Give us an example of what a Brummie accent sounds like, mate.
Oh, I literally cannot do one.
Yes, you can.
I literally... Oh, it's Birmingham.
It's not good.
All right, welcome to Birmingham.
You're going to get in trouble for that, mate.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not too bad.
Let's hear yours then. Come on, let's hear it.
Birmingham. I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's kind of you always went a bit Liverpudlian there, didn't it?
Can you give us a little bit of a homemade Alabama Birmingham accent? Just say something real deep, thick that you're putting on extra for us.
I really can't even tell y'all when they come to my head right now.
There you go. That's exactly what we're after. That's exactly what we're after. Brandon, how have you settled into life in Bristol so far? Have you enjoyed it? Have you enjoyed your time here in the UK so far?
I really enjoy my time in Bristol right now. Like, it's been a great experience. You know, it's been fun. And I got one of the best roommates to have, you feel me?
Oh, that's so nice. Is this your first time in the UK?
Say it again.
Is this your first time in England?
Yeah, this is my first time.
What's he like to live with, Malcolm? Talk to us. Is Brandon a good roommate?
Yeah. Brandon's a good roommate. We get along really well. Like, you know, we were respectful and, you know, good time, good banter. And so I can't ask for much more.
Great stuff. Looking forward to, we'll test this a bit later on in the podcast. We've got a couple of interesting questions for you guys. I know Tevin's had a couple of, he's had his girlfriend come visit him this week, hasn't he? She's flown out all the way over here to the UK. Have you guys had any family come out so far this season to come visit you guys in Bristol?
At least for me, not this year. I mean, my family came last season, but not this year.
Yeah.
My family will be down here soon.
Yeah. When are they looking to come down?
I think next month.
Is it really?
Yeah, next month.
Have to get them to try out some of all the cool hot spots around Bristol. Have you started picking up some of the hot spots, Brandon? Some of the key places to go?
The key places to eat.
You what? Every time I say hot spot, it's always like, food places, obviously.
Yeah, always.
Always. Any, where are your favourite places to go so far in Bristol?
Sure. I ain't been too far. I've been
on Gloucester Road.
Yeah, Gloucester Road, I'm tripping. I have been. But shoot, really can't even say. Nando's pretty good to me.
Yeah. Everyone says
Low
Nando's.
and slow.
Well, that's it.
Low and slow as well. Everyone.
It's only a matter of time until someone said low and slow here on the podcast.
We need to get you guys to some different venues, man. It's always the same.
Low and slow, Nando's, Toby Carvery. It's like the same kind of list, isn't it? Am I right in thinking you guys just came literally from a team meal at Low and Slow today?
Yeah,
sure.
It was elite.
Coach taking you out for a meal again. What was the reason this time? Did someone hit a half-court shot in practice or something?
I think because we won both
games.
Yeah, we won both games this past weekend, so it was felt very generous.
Very
so
nice.
Took advantage.
Treating the team out to a meal to celebrate 2 back-to-back wins. Normally it's only when someone hits that half-court shot, isn't it? When someone nails that half-court shot either in a game or in practice, it's usually a meal. But
if someone hit one today, would you have gone out for 2 meals then?
I would hope so.
By the way, you said you've been to Lona. You like that place,
I was going
right?
to ask you about that. Like, have you been there before?
I've been once before, yeah.
Yes. Have you gone on your birthday?
No. Oh, no, I have been there on other people's birthdays, though. They're going to sing a song, aren't
they say the song like 30 times. But it's good, though.
What do they sing to you?
They all come around together and they're clapping or something, aren't they?
Yeah, and they say the same song. Like, it's cute, but I guess it gets a little bit redundant. But
Too much.
You'll be fine, though. You'll have fun.
The food's good, though, hey?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
You love it, mate. I want to see a video of them singing to you, Sam. Let's see if we can get on the next episode.
I forgot. But do you know, I booked this place as well because I love it, but I forgot about it. But
that'd be fun. Yeah. Speaking of food spots in Bristol, you guys know there was a Taco Bell now that's opened on the Triangle?
Yeah, I don't know if I
there?
trust it, though. You guys be ruining, like, the way England operates. You guys ruin all the fast food chains.
Oh, really?
So.
Have you been to Five Guys in the UK yet?
Five Guys is the only place you guys do right, but Five Guys quality is pretty good, like, overall, but McDonald's and all the other places you guys.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right about that. Well, every time I've gone to like your Mackey's or something in the States, there's always so much more on the menu.
Yeah.
We do it so rubbish over here in the UK.
And it's often not even that fresh, is it? So
yeah, you guys do a pretty good job of that because you guys are health conscious, even though it's fast food, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's it. I want to bring up something that we spoke about a few weeks actually ago on the podcast, and I think that's when Coach took you guys out to a Toby Carvery a few weeks ago, and Brandon actually put a tweet out of his Toby Carvery. I don't know, Fred, if we can get up on the screen here. There's your roast that you tweeted, Brandon.
Feel me?
Is this your first roast dinner?
First roast dinner.
First ever roast dinner in the UK. What were your thoughts? What were your first impressions when you tried it?
Like, being honest.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Fully honest, mate.
Let's be completely honest.
So, it was pretty good, I guess. I'm talking about the macaroni and cheese. Is that macaroni and cheese?
Yeah, it looks like macaroni cheese, a couple of Yorkshire puddings. What's that? Beef chicken gravy, only a little bit of gravy.
Yeah.
Too little gravy, man. We need more than that, okay?
For real?
But there's one thing. The one thing missing on there is the roast potatoes, though, Brandon. You don't have any roast potatoes.
Roast potato, I think they ran out.
That makes sense. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
And I ate the veggies already.
Yeah, sure.
That's what you said. That's what you said. You're trying to say there's no veggies on there because he's already eaten them.
What was the emoji about with the the on the hair they're doing the massage?
For real?
Yeah.
They're saying it's real good.
Okay, nice. I'll take that.
I want to know as well what you're drinking in that picture. I don't know, Fred, if you can get it up on screen again, but
Cool little water.
it looks like a glass of wine you got there with a strawberry in it. What is that? Is that just a water?
Cool little water with a strawberry in it.
From that angle, it does look like you're drinking a glass of wine, doesn't it?
I don't believe a word he's saying.
I'm telling you, that's some water.
Yeah, I definitely can't see any. Well, I mean, to be fair, he's taking the team out to celebrate. So if he wants to have a glass of wine, I guess we can let him have a glass of
You can
wine.
do what you want. I don't really care. Have a lot of glass of wine if you want.
Glass of
Brandon.
water.
Malcolm, obviously you got no UE game this week, but how is the season going so far for the UE team?
It's going really good. I think we're first. I think tied for first. We have our final regular season game of the season on like 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
I think this is the 25th on Wednesday, and so that game will determine like where we are seeding wise in our conference. But we're a lock for the playoffs, so that's all we really care about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you know who you're going to be playing in that first round yet at all?
I think we're playing Leicester's university team.
As in like Loughborough or like Leicester University of
I have no clue.
So not like the Riders players or anything like that?
No, it is the Riders players.
Oh, so it'd be like Loughborough Uni, I imagine.
Oh, so that'd be a tough game.
Yeah, I guess. But,
We'll take
but
them. We'll take them.
apparently the time that this is the second time we played, though I wasn't there for that game, but we won, and but they didn't have they maybe have their BBL guys, just like we have some BBL guys on our team as well. So it should be an interesting game.
Yeah. Oh, we had Pasquale on the podcast last week. Obviously, he's playing for. Well, he's not playing for them, but he's studying at the University of Bristol.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's trying to combine the studies with training with UAB as well. He mentioned that there's no plans for a UE versus UAB varsity game this year.
Probably for the best.
Why is that, Malcolm? Why is that for the best?
Because it's going to be a bloodbath.
Here's some strong words from Delpeche right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day for one team, and it ain't going to be us.
Hey, I'll tell you what, as former UE alumni, I think Sam and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
We do actually. I'll tell you what, Sam, the other day during the Leicester game, I checked my emails after the game, and I had an email come through from a listener, from Claire Clark, who actually works at UE. Was obviously an avid listener of the podcast. She's watching the game on Friday against Leicester Riders. She pinged me an email saying, "Hi Joel, currently half time in the game tonight, so thought I'd pop you a message. Having listened to the last..."
Very keen.
Yeah.
Very keen, like that.
Great list. I mean, this is what we need. We need some engagement, some fans sending in some messages. Having listened to the last podcast and the conversation about a UE versus UOB varsity, I did some inquiring with my colleagues in the sports department in the SU, and unfortunately there are no plans for a varsity this year.
For the best.
For the best.
Probably for the best. She goes, "Shame, best wishes, Claire." We need to figure out a way we can make this happen somehow, Sam.
I mean, is it that bad? Are they not good this year at all?
It's going to be long. Like, that's the only way I could put it, like, without being disrespectful. Like,
I mean, if UE and UOB can like get a venue together, I'm sure the club Flyers can support like promoting of the game, like promoting of fans to come down. Like get Sam on the PA. I could do the commentary for maybe live stream or something like that.
And if you get 20 dunks, that's the aim for you to get 20 dunks, right?
That's it. That'd be great. It would be great. I mean,
I'll take Gus to the post.
Is some strong words here being spoken from Malcolm Delpeche.
I'm just being honest.
I mean, we could see if we can make it happen. I think.
Let's see. Let's go for it.
She Claire also adds, by the way, at the bottom of her email, P.S. See attached pic of my cat Monty enjoying a recent game. Get up on screen, Fred. Let's see the cat. Here's Monty watching Flyers versus Surrey Scorchers. Monty is very cleverly avoiding the score because that is the New Year's Day game defeat.
Tough.
Great job, Monty. We love furry Flyers fans here on the podcast. Everyone who sends in their fans. I think we've got the best fluffy fans in the league, Sam, right?
I think was that you in the picture, Brandon, by the way?
I think that was, yeah.
Yeah, it's Brandon, yeah. Big fan of Brandon Mahan. Love it. And if you've got any fluffy Flyers fans that you want to be featured here on the podcast, do send us a tweet at Bristol Flyers. Send us a message. Let us know who your fluffy fan is, where you're watching from, and we'll feature them right here on the podcast.
Do either of you guys have any pets at all at home or not?
Yeah, I got 2 cats at home actually.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Tell us more. What are their names?
I have a black one named Spotty and a gray one named Chelsea.
Big Flyers fans at all?
Unlikely, but but yeah, they support me, so I guess by transitive property.
Are they your cats or are they your brother's cats?
Technically, my parents' cats.
Yeah,
but,
fair.
Yeah, but when I'm home, I take care of them because I'm home a lot more.
Love it.
Yeah.
What about you, Brandon? Any pets at all? Any a dog or a cat? Or anything?
I got a dog at home.
Have you actually? What's his name?
King.
Kane?
King.
King. Oh, King. As in your Insta. No, your Twitter name. King.
Yeah, fast.
What kind of dog is it?
A Rottweiler.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to see if we can get a picture of that next time you come on the podcast. See if you can bring a picture of King and we'll give him a shout out.
Does
here.
King watch any of your games from back home or not?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah. I love it. Any Furry Flyers fans, massive fans. Fellas, obviously we've got you on the podcast here today because you two live with each other. So this is going to be our little roommates episode. Anything we need to know about the other one? Any bad habits or anything that you guys have? Or see, Malcolm's trying not to laugh here.
I don't want to let my intrusive thoughts win.
You just don't want to throw each other under the bus here on the podcast.
But no, it's chill. Like, I think we have a really great roommate dynamic, and like that's going into the season, like you really, especially when we basically had a facelift of our program, so you don't really know who's going to be one teammates but 2 roommates, and so I think that we got together, and like ever since then it's just been good vibes, and I think that's really all you could ask for. Like, we're respectful of each other's spaces, we're respectful of our flat, and so for me, like, I think that's just great, and so it's it's really nice.
Who did you have last year?
I had our former Flyers point guard Marcus Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to say who you prefer?
Sheesh. Marcus is still listening to this podcast, but
yeah, I think me and Brandon get on today.
What would your celebrity celebrity joint name be because you're roommates? Would it be Maypesh?
Okay, no, that's that's long. That's tough.
No.
That's tough.
I love it.
Delhan it is then.
Delhan.
That's crazy.
Maypesh or Delhan? I'll tell you what, we'll put a poll out on Twitter and then you can vote for your favourite. Is it Maypesh or is it Delhan?
Malcolm not loving that.
I love that. Brandon, what is Malcolm like to live with? Have you got any funny stories about living with Malcolm Delpeche? Or do you not want to throw him under the bus?
Yeah, I have some funny stories, but I really can't come up with them right now.
That is a very political answer, Brandon. I love it. Fellas, we've got a series of little quickfire questions for the 2 of you about living with each other. It's a little roommates feature we thought we'd do here on the podcast. A little bit of fun. It shouldn't take too long, but we've got a few questions here. And the first question is, who is the messier roommate?
Really can't say. I don't know. Really can't say. I feel like
I'll throw myself under the bus. I think like Brandon, every time we wake in the morning, cause I generally wake up, or at least I'm out of my room earlier than he is, because I always make breakfast. I always have breakfast in the morning, and so one thing I always see is that this is the cleanest dude I've ever met, in the sense that he takes a shower at least 4 or 5 times a day. Like, he's never leaving the house smelling crazy. And then 2, like, he always makes his bed in the morning, and I don't always make my bed in the morning, even though I try my best to. And so I'll give him the crown on that one.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. You mentioned like you cooking breakfast. Are you cooking for Brandon as well, or is it just?
Nah, I eat it. The amount of food I eat is just I have to.
Throw down in the kitchen. I can't lie. He throw down in the
I
kitchen.
have a big old pot just for myself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, big man's got to eat, obviously.
Look out.
Brandon, what are you cooking? Are you a big fan in the kitchen?
I'm cooking some stuff in there. You feel me?
Yeah.
I say like pasta and chicken, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What's your go-to? What's your
Nothing too
favourite?
crazy.
What's your favourite?
Pasta and chicken.
Pasta and chicken?
Pasta and chicken. Okay, I got another one for you. Who has the better dress sense out of the 2 of you?
Shoot, I really ain't got no clothes for real. I be seeing him.
He had his whole. You want to tell him your whole situation at the airport, or TMI?
Nah, but
let's hear it.
He be putting it on. I can't lie. Every time when I see him finna leave, you feel him to go somewhere, he be putting it on.
Yeah.
All the clothes and stuff.
Are you sneakily going into Malcolm's wardrobe and borrowing a few clothes here and there, or
I need to.
just the Flyers clothes is all you need, Brandon? You just got to wear the Flyers stash. That's
I
exactly.
can't do that. Not everywhere. Not everywhere.
Can't be doing that.
Okay, next question. Malcolm, you said about Brandon and his showering habits. I think I know the answer to this one. Who spends longer in the shower?
Yeah, definitely this guy.
Brandon takes the crown for that one.
Easy.
Talk us through it. So is it a shower when you wake up, and then
Yeah.
shower after practice,
Shower out of practice.
and then you shower again before you go to bed at night?
Just because.
And then where does the fourth come from?
Ain't no telling. It might just come up out of nowhere.
It's like, oh, I'm bored. I might just hop in the shower.
Okay, I got one for you. Who works harder in the weight room?
Come on now, you know who works harder in the weight room. Look at him. I be in there doing them ups, it just don't work.
Okay, next question. This is quite an interesting one, based off of our 2 games at the weekend. Who is the better free throw shooter?
I mean, what do you mean, interesting question?
Well, I just said, like, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there. We shot really poorly from the foul line from both games of the weekend.
Nah, we did.
You shooting 90, innit?
Yeah, I'm shooting 90.
Yeah, you shooting
90? Yeah.
That's I shot 90 in college.
He did. His second 2 years at UCF, Brandon Mahan was 90% free throw shooter.
No way, that's good.
Yeah. So Brandon is the better free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Who is the better haircut?
Shoot, man, he be having a fade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have different type of hairdos. He doesn't, yeah.
Malcolm's,
Feel me long we get it right.
Malcolm's wearing the Flyers cap today.
Just trying to rep the brand, innit?
So yeah, he's trying to, well, obviously maybe avoiding showing us his haircut as well
That
today.
too. I mean,
Next question: who watches the most game film?
I don't know. I really don't know. Shoot.
yeah,
Probably
I watch a couple. Like, my brother plays as well, so like I'll follow him. So we, I naturally already have a scout for Sheffield for most games. But I think it's probably pretty balanced.
Yeah. Couple more questions. Who is better at NBA 2K? Are you guys both playing 2K?
I'm probably gonna give it to him for real. He be on the game. Like he'd be hurting these young kids' feelings.
straight trash.
Argue with
Are you the one that puts the little microphone down and starts talking to the player?
Trash.
I sent a video because our rooms are more or less next to each other, and so like we hear each other through the wall, like when we're like yelling, and so I had one time it sounded like he was having a bad time, and so he was just having an arguing match with whoever was on the other side of the microphone, and I sent it to the group chat. It was good banter. Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, that 12-year-old had it coming there, right?
Yeah. He older than 12. They older than 12 on that.
What team do you normally play with on 2K?
Oh, no, I be playing at the park. I be at the park.
Oh, you're doing like with your online, your my character. So
Nice.
have you like scanned your own face and put yourself into the game? 'Cause I know you can do that on the NBA 2K app, can't you? You can take a photo.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it,
and
like
scan.
scans your face. Have you done
I
that?
ain't even scan. I need to scan.
Have you created yourself in the game?
I be trying.
Yeah.
Trying my best.
You put the sliders maxed up to 99 on
Come on
3-point
now.
shooting.
So I can leave dunk some.
Awesome. Great stuff. That's our little roommates feature. That's quite cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Find out a bit more about these guys living with each other. There's one more thing we've got to do before we head to the news segment. And obviously, Malcolm, last time we had you on, we did the Quickfire questions segment. You've got 7
yeah.
correct answers. Brandon, this is your first time here on the podcast, so we are going to do the Quickfire segment with yourself. Sam, are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Hit it. Look at that. What do you reckon, Brandon? This light's just gone red. Don't get nervous, mate. Don't get
I
nervous.
am nervous. Do it.
But you gotta beat 7, okay? As quick as you can.
I thought it was no wrong or right answers though. I thought it was Kobe or Michael Jordan.
Yep, there's no wrong or right answers. It's a quick fire questions. You just got to answer as many as you possibly can in 30 seconds. Are you ready? Sam, are you ready on the clock?
Yep.
Your time, Brandon. You have 30 seconds on the clock starting from now.
Yeah.
Who is your favourite athlete?
LeBron.
How old were you when you started playing basketball?
5.
If you weren't a basketball player, what would you be?
Entrepreneur for sure, like I am.
Who is the best player on the team? Your
Yeah.
team.
Everybody.
Very diplomatic. What country do you want to travel to most?
What do I want to travel to most? Want to come back to London.
London.
UK.
There we go.
Yes,
UK,
mate.
the country he wants to travel to most. He's already here. Great stuff. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon, you got 5, which is tied with Leslie Smith.
Ooh.
And tied with, who was it? Pasquale on the scene last week?
I think it was Pasquale.
Probably.
Yeah, Pasquale.
Pasquale. So you tied bottom of the table with the two of them.
That's so crap. We're gonna run it back.
Well, I mean, we can, but maybe next time you come on, we'll run it back. We'll see if you can beat 5. Great stuff. Just before we get to the news section, even Brandon, we haven't really delved into kind of your background and your journey into the Flyers, because obviously this is your first time here on the podcast. Because you took the, am I right in thinking you took like the JUCO route into college and then come into the pros?
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience? What was that like for you?
I'm talking about junior college was nice. You had to step up, and show yourself every day, show how good you was every day, because everybody trying to do the same thing.
Because everyone's trying to get to that that D1 level, aren't they? That's essentially. Have you ever watched Sam? Have you ever watched like Last Chance U, like the American football thing, and obviously the on Netflix as well as the basketball one? Now they just brought out a second series of it. Have you watched that?
I watched season 1 and I've watched some of the American football, but I've not seen any of the second season. So
have you watched the Last Chance U, Brandon, on Netflix? It's like they follow the East Los Angeles team, the Huskies in JUCO, and it's like a documentary behind the scenes of like of what it's like playing at JUCO. I was going to ask you if it's the same as that, because Coach John Mosley, I don't know if any listeners have watched the podcast, but Coach Mosley is
he's mean.
Yeah,
was your coach mean or was your coach nice?
A JUCO.
He was cool, but he had to be mean, because like the people on my team really ain't listen to him. Like we ain't have no discipline.
Yeah, it's because it's everyone's trying to fight. It's a tough one because everyone's trying to like fight and compete for minutes and try and play well to earn that scholarship. But at the same time, your coach is trying to win games. So I imagine it's quite interesting. I mean, you did 1 year at JUCO. Was that Chipola? Is that right?
Chipola, yeah.
1 year at Chipola, and then you transferred to Texas A&M in Div 1. Where you did your first season in Div 1. What was that like for you? How was that experience?
You talking about my first year at Texas A&M?
Yeah.
That was a great experience. It was, it was really a football school, but the basketball environment was well. Like it was really good. Just seeing all that, I was really nervous every game.
Yeah.
Just by.
Were you?
It was so many. It was fans behind the goal, on the side. It was packed every game, and it was so loud.
How many people were in the stadium?
Really can't even estimate the people that was in there, but it was a lot of people. I can really say, like, they filled up the whole stands. Like, it really be like a stadium. You know how far it be at the top. You see all the people at the top, and it just be loud. They got the drummers in there. So it was really just loud.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Texas is massive. I mean, for like those big sports, obviously it's a very American football sort of state. But basketball in Texas is huge as well. Like you look at there's so many different teams there. Texas A&M's, your UT's, your Baylor's. It's actually it's becoming a really massive state for basketball as well. And obviously after that, then you transferred to UCF. Where you spent the last 3 years of your college career.
Thanks.
How was that? What was the reason for the transfer? First of all, what was the reason you wanted to switch from Texas A&M to UCF?
Really, my coach, he got I can say it. My coach really got resigned.
Okay.
So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take my talent somewhere else. And then I already knew the coach from UCF.
Yeah.
Because he was already talking to me. So I was just like, I was waiting on them, and then they hit me up. So I was just like, okay, I'll take this offer because I know Coach Dawkins and he's cool.
Was that one of the offers you were getting out of junior college as well? Did you have an offer from UCF coming out of JUCO?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a natural progression to then be like, okay, my coach is moving on. It makes sense for me to move on.
Yeah.
How do you look back on that spell at UCF? Because that's a big time school, isn't it? In terms of you see players coming out of there going straight to like the league and stuff like that. Like how did your game develop during your 3 years there?
It developed, real well, I say, because more so every day we was at it. Like in the mornings we would work out every day, and really 3 times a day. So it really helped me, progress my game.
Yeah.
That's where he learned to shower so much.
That's it. That's why he's showering all the time. He's got to train 3 times a day. What does like a standard day look like then in terms of like when you're studying at UCF? Because you've got to combine your studies. You have to train 3 times a day. Like, what's a standard day look like from start to finish? Like, what time are you getting up?
We training at I'm getting up at like 4:30.
Wow.
4:30.
Yeah, we training at 5. So
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Then I train again probably like at 9, and then we have practice around 1.
Wow.
So then.
So is that like different types of training? So like for example, one of them might be weight room.
Weight room. Yeah, that's at 9.
Yeah, and then one of them's like is one more like individual stuff, and one's like team practice.
Yeah, team practice at 1, and then we'll probably come back and train again at like 6. That's after study hall. You know, you got your studies probably like 2 to 6.
Wow.
What did you major in?
You know, leadership, interdisciplinary leadership.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a jam-packed schedule.
So you're literally doing train, study, and then back to training, and then you have to eat in between there, and then sleep, and then start again.
Start again. And
5 days a week?
5 days a week.
And then your games at the weekend as well, or games in the week?
It depends. If we during the season, then we're gonna have the game like Saturday.
It's tough.
Wow,
Friday.
that's crazy.
That is tough. And how was the how did your team do during that time? Do all right over the 3 years?
I'm talking about we did really well. My first year that we did well in the beginning. Then, you know, other people started trying to step up, and it was you know, it just took a toll on other people. Yeah. And then we just went down. Then the next year we did really well.
Yeah. Did you have are you still in touch with your teammates from college now? Are you still are many of them playing pro overseas anywhere else?
Yeah, they all playing. I feel like they all playing. I'm talking about some of them playing in a different college, but like most of them playing in a different country.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Anyone over here in the UK or not?
Nah, ain't nobody in the UK right now.
I swear, like the basketball world is tiny, isn't it? Like we spoke about it, Malcolm, last time you came on the pod. But someone knows someone who like. So is there anyone like even from your conference that you would have played against during your time at UCF, or anyone that you kind of played against in the BBL, or people that you're aware of or know of from maybe growing up? Or
Dirk Williams.
Yeah,
I know him because he's from Birmingham. Yeah.
Oh,
is he?
Is he Birmingham? So you guys played against each other like as kids, is that right?
Not as kids because he's a little older than me, but. I say like I played against him at like a recreation center or something like that. I said like a open gym.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like it's so small. Like players just know each other. I'd say randomly. Like if we didn't ask that question, we would have never known that.
And then you played against him on Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we put a beating on him.
We did. I mean, he's still got 37 points.
He's still
don't do us like that.
Yeah.
Chill.
Hey, that's right. You keep him to scoring, and then no one else scores, and you're gonna win, right? And that's what happened.
One more question I had for UCF. Am I right in thinking is that where Taco Fall played? Is that
Taco Fall.
Was he on your team at college, or is he just after you or before you?
Before me.
He was before you. Before me. Because a lot of players do like go on. Taco Fall is like a sort of one of the bigger names that's sort of gone to the league recently.
Bigger people as well.
7'6".
Oh, 7'6" of it. Yeah, the bigger people that's gone to the league after that.
I don't know how he works. Watching him do stuff, you're like, how does that work? He's too big. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Great stuff. Right, Sam, let's get to this week's news around the BBL.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
All right, time to take a look at what's been going on around the league this week in British basketball. We've got to start by talking about the 2 wins over Leicester and Manchester.
Oh my gosh, mate.
The weekend.
How good was Friday night?
Incredible. It was a great team performance. We guys pretty much led most of the way. I think they took a 2-point lead at one point in that.
Just a 1-point lead, actually. I think.
A 1-point lead in that third quarter, but
they just don't go away though, right? So you guys were 10 points up, and then they come down and just hit 3 threes without thinking, don't they?
Yeah. Malcolm, and they're like, you guys played well like throughout the game, and they hit some crazy shots from 3, didn't they? Yeah,
I mean they're a talented team at the end of the day. So I think Manchester in particular, and I guess even Leicester had spells like that as well, because like both of these teams are teams that our coach even mentioned. Like everyone's talking about them. They got a lot of talent. Leicester obviously kept most of their team together, minus they're losing with Crandall, and then Manchester they have a Fletcher coming in, and so like they have a lot of parts, and so they're a team that you just can't take lightly. So even though we went up on that 20-point lead, like, you know, we took our foot off the gas just a little bit, and Derek Williams goes off, and then they slowly start to close that gap. Obviously, having that sort of lead that late in the game is obviously worked in our favor, but yeah, as you said, they're a team that you can't just expect them to just lay down and die.
Yeah, they had a very similar comeback, Manchester, against Caledonia on Friday. They were down by like 15, I think it was, and they won with that block or slash.
Did you see that block?
It was like everyone was questioning whether it was like a block or a goaltend, wasn't it? Because you could literally not talk. You could literally not call it. It was so close.
Yeah.
But
not as good as a block I remember from last season against Manchester.
Yeah, to be fair, I would say it's better as well.
Brandon, did you watch that clip before you joined?
Oh yeah,
Malcolm,
I did.
in that playoff game.
Yeah, I seen it. Where it was after somebody made a big shot and you came down.
Mike made that shot and
made the big play with the block. Yeah, I seen that.
It was such a good block. I can't even tell you.
What was the mood like in the locker room after those two games at the weekend? Because obviously those are two teams that everyone's predicting to finish right up there in the standings this season, and to go in and beat both of them in the space of 48 hours must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, I think one thing that our coach said was just like it was like a team win, and so everyone on the court who got on the court basically contributed, and so obviously the vibes were just like really high for us, especially coming off that tough performance against Surrey to start off the new year. I think, you know, just getting back on winning ways and then winning back-to-back games against two teams of that caliber. Obviously, the vibes were just very good, but I think one thing that I think we've tried to maintain is like not getting too high or too low about these things, to understand that there's still more to be done. And so now we're about to play against Surrey for this cup game. And so the work continues.
Yeah, focus shift to Surrey Scorchers on Friday night, which at the time of recording, we're down to like 30 tickets left at the moment, I believe, which is
just standing tickets, isn't it?
Yeah, standing room only. So if you are interested in going and getting your tickets, last chance to do so at bristolflyers.co.uk to snap up your tickets for the Surrey Scorchers game, first round BBL trophy action. Sam, I'll tell you what, after the game on Friday against Leicester, I had a little tap on my shoulder. None other than young JT Vince, who we spoke about on the podcast a few weeks ago. I met him in person, face to face.
Oh yeah, how is he?
He's great. I just gave him a good shout out for his cool artwork he's been making of the players. If you remember a few episodes back, we asked. He made 3 potential profile pictures for Corey Samuels. The fans voted on which one he should use as his profile picture. He did say, Sam, he's going to do one for me and you at some point for the podcast. So
get in.
I'll be sending him a photo for us to for him to work his magic on, and then we'll run it here on the podcast.
Love that.
So I met him in person. Massive shout out to JT Vince on that one. Obviously, the 2 games at the weekend, BJ King was named in Team of the Week, so that's other news around the league. 2 massive performances from him. He had 30 and 7 on Friday. He had 27 and 11 on Sunday. Lads, he's really starting to sort of find his rhythm now, isn't he? He's really finding some great form at the moment.
I think he's always found his rhythm, to be fair.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
He's a bucket, I can't lie. He does a lot of stuff for us, and we're just grateful to have him on our side of the court.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What's it been like playing with him this year? Because he's got such he can pretty much score from anywhere on the court. You know, he can shoot the free, and he's got the speed advantage on most of the taller defenders that will be guarding him.
Yeah. I mean, you want to go?
Shoot, I can say anything. That man is great. That man is great.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, VJ's just such a, like as you said, like he has a diversified range of attacks, and so I think that's one thing that, you know, playing in this league, like he can do that. You know, he has length, he's tall, he can finish in a variety of ways, and that's just one thing that's just super valuable and special about him. And then obviously on the defensive end, he can get those chase down blocks, and especially like when we're talking, communicating, and operating on all fronts, like it's his impact and just is very evident.
Yeah.
They were coming back, Leicester, on Friday at one point, and then he hit this 3 from probably 4 foot outside the 3-point line, and I was like, that's disgusting.
That's great.
He's been absolutely balling out, especially these last few games. Since the start of the new year, actually, he's really been putting on the switching up a little bit.
It's the dog food.
Facts.
Is this the one?
Business.
Is the one you say?
It's the dog food he be eating on the bus.
He's what?
He got the dog food.
Did you say he's eating dog food?
It just
Not
smelled like
actually,
dog food.
but it just smells like dog.
It was so funny.
But he
my
be getting
God.
buckets. I don't know what he's cooking, but we all trying to get a plate or something. Like, we eat that before the game. You feel me?
No, BJ, if you're listening, the lads will take a serving of dog food if you got it for
The Michael
next-
Jordan secret stuff or whatever. you put in there.
And I know we all love VJ and he's amazing, but I do want to ask, see what your comments are on that Zach Jackson dunk that he went to try and block and he.
Chill, we ain't even talking about that today.
Hey, no, I tell you what though.
Pleading the fifth on that.
No, but I tell you what though. He could have easily just let him have a dunk.
Yeah,
in that
that's what I like
situation.
about it.
But like, what I love about that is that he's not letting him get an easy bucket. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like
fair.
Jackson's
Sure.
out in transition. He's going up and contesting that.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that
It's
a
like
lot.
I'll meet you at the rim, and either it's going to be a dunk or it's going to be a block or a foul. Like I love that. You
Yeah.
could have easily just given up on that
Facts,
play.
facts, facts.
So like he's going the wall for us out there. on
One
the
thing
court.
I've noticed about VJ, and I don't know, people get into foul trouble quite, just to different people. I don't think I've ever noticed him get into foul trouble that often. Is it just because he's what? He's got quick feet, quick hands, or what?
Solid on D. He plays solid D.
Yeah.
Yeah, his feet. He's got like I say, he's got that speed advantage on most of the players he's matching up against. Because especially when we put him at the 4, I think like he'll.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll match up against like a taller defender and it's game over.
Yeah,
So when he's
there's not a lot of-
defending, he can defend without fouling
I
quite
don't
well.
think there's been any case, especially when he's at the 4 position or guarding the 4. Yeah, a lot of 4s struggle against him because they just drive and they're not a lot of stretch 4s in this league that are as effective. Like maybe Leicester's like the only sort of unique scenario, but yeah, he locks up.
Yeah.
But Loving's
So-
seen as one of the best players in the league, and he did a job on Loving, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, VJ, I think if he wasn't already, I'd certainly put him up there with one of the front runners for like league MVP this season.
Yeah, I love
Like,
that.
He's definitely
Sure.
been showing out this season. I've got a bunch of other news here. I'm batching this all together.
We need to smash through this.
Player
Joel.
transactions. This is the month right now where teams have, there's the signing window. It closes at the end of the month.
Oh,
so
really?
loads of teams
February.
Oh, it's February. So it closes at the end of February. So loads of teams right now are starting to make those little changes in their roster. This week has been absolutely bonkers. Start off at Plymouth City Patriots. They announced the departure of Antonio Williams and Troy Simons, both out there. They've been replaced by 6'7" forward Jawan Daniels out of Prairie View A&M. That's the same school as his teammate Mark-Edric Bell. And they've also announced the signing of American point guard Ty Gadsden out of UNC Wilmington. He had a spell in the NBA G League with the OKC Blue. He moved to Maine Celtics and finished up the season last year in Mexico.
Will you guys get a chance to look at them yet, or do you just wait till you'll start playing Plymouth and then have a look at them?
Yeah, once we go ahead to play Plymouth, then our coach will already have like a full scouting report on all the new players and where they're playing from in the leagues and stuff.
I like that.
Are you guys watching much like BBL games outside of like your standard scouting reports? I know Malcolm, you're probably watching your brother quite a lot, but Brandon, are you watching like other games going on around the league just like out of entertainment if you're bored on like a Friday night or something, or are you just watching it purely for scouting report reasons?
Only if we're finna play them coming up. That's the only time I do it.
Yeah, that's crazy because like for us, because I guess because we're not involved, like not playing as much, like, we're not playing at all. Like it's like we'll watch it for like entertainment, but these guys are just straight business. It's like I'll only watch this team if I need to scout on this certain player, etc. It's awesome.
It's business time.
Interesting with Antonio Williams gone. That was a bit of a big talking point on social media. Of course, he joined sort of midway through the season last year, and very much talking point. Obviously, he's now signed in Iceland, so interesting move for him. I imagine he's probably got a massive paycheck coming through with that as well. Probably the reason for going out there. Other news around the league. What was that?
I had my own. Yeah, don't keep that to myself.
Malcolm is.
Who that is?
Huh?
Boo Williams.
Boo Williams tripping. Say that.
Yeah, he's
Sure.
he's like, yeah, say less. Leicester Riders today announced the arrival of Canadian international guard Devontae Bandu from the Canadian Seaball. Finished his college career at Baylor. He was named the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year when he was at Baylor. They definitely could have done with him on Friday against us, but of course he goes in to replace Derek Thornton, who announced they announced it actually, Leicester Riders, on the day of the game that Thornton had gone, which is quite interesting. Fellas, like, did you have him like was he on your scouting report like Thornton, and then all of a sudden coach just like right?
No, we had some insider talk from Corey. Corey knows some of the guys on news, some of the guys who are affiliated with the Leicester Riders, and he said that there were talks about him not being playing. 'Cause the game prior to us the game prior to Leicester, to our game against Leicester, he only played like 6 minutes, I guess.
Yeah. So you felt that it was kind of coming a little bit.
That was the word on the street that he may or may not be playing, or that he may or may not be going, and so evidently they would announce him not being there. So.
They announced it on game day, and I was under the impression that they were going to announce his replacement hours before tip-off, and I was going to have to do another rant of the week right here on the podcast, because you know how much I love late announcement signings on game day, but obviously now Bandu being announced today, so it wasn't a game day announcement, so I'm a very happy man.
The Leicester Riders media team were messing with me because they sat behind me on the game, and they were saying, oh yeah, Antonio Williams just been replaced from Plymouth and we've just replaced Thornton. You're about to see Antonio Williams turn up and play for Leicester Riders tonight, and they were so straight faced. I honestly didn't know if I believed them or not.
Shout out Pete, that was a good bit of bants there.
It got me good.
Yeah, it did get us good. I honestly thought that was going to happen. Other news, Sheffield Sharks now, they've announced the departure of American big Javian Ogunyemi. American guard Channel Banks is also gone. They have announced the signing of American guard Deverell Ramsey from the Stockton Kings of the NBA G League. He averaged 3 points and 2 boards a game when he was out there. They still have one announcement to make, but Malcolm, this is quite an interesting signing announcement for like the Sharks, making those changes, because last time we had you on the podcast, we were talking about how your brother Marcus needed to get some more minutes in that big rotation, and it looks like if they're not announcing, if they don't announce a big to replace Ogunyemi, it looks like he'll certainly get more minutes there.
Yeah, I think for them, it would be provided definitely an opportunity, especially for my brother individually, because I think from what I understand, they're maybe be moving away from like the big man lineup, and now they'll be playing more of like a guard, or they only have 2 bigs now, kind of like us, I guess. Yeah. In a way, so we'll see. Hopefully it works out, and obviously it would be nice from a brother to brother standpoint. I would love to see my brother on the court. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Sheffield Sharks, they obviously we announced yesterday that game on the 20th of January against Sheffield has been selected for Sky Sports.
Yes.
So Malcolm, a Delpeche derby live on a telly once again.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. Did we already have our last game against them?
Yeah, so last season our trip to Sheffield.
Oh, it was last season, not this season.
If you remember last season,
I remember
Sheffield,
that. That was an away game.
Yeah, I remember. Then there's that shot of you and Corey sort of like shouting down the. That was I remember that game really well. That was last season's Delpeche derby. So once again, the same game has been picked for Sky coverage. So
sensational.
It'd be good. How much are you looking forward to that one? Obviously in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. Obviously, any opportunity to be on the court with my brother is a blessing, and so I'll be looking forward to that. But at the end of the day, it's another business trip. Just got to take care of business and make sure he doesn't have as well as performance as he did the last time we played them.
Yeah.
Are there any pictures ever of you dunking on your brother in a professional sense or not?
Not in a professional sense, but I've definitely dunked on him. He knows it, so charge it.
Well, charge it. Charge it. We're gonna have to keep our eye on that one for the game on the 20th, as you can get some posters. A couple more bits from us here. The BBL this week has announced the appointment of a new chief medical officer in Dr. Amir Packraven, previously at Crystal Palace, London Lions, NBA European Games. A really interesting appointment here. Obviously, the league is trying to professionalise itself a lot more and help medical teams out with that extra provision. So great stuff, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exciting.
Obviously, we'll have to. Obviously, they've just joined the BBL now, but maybe when we do an episode going down the line with our medical team, we'll maybe see if we can get them to dial in or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Sounds good.
That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, last thing, obviously, Friday's game at Surrey Scorchers. We mentioned about tickets. If you haven't got your tickets, go get them at bristolflyers.co.uk. And now you're up to date with this week's news.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, time to get to this week's word of the week. And last week, the wheel decided that we'd have to say the word UOB. Thanks to Pasquale Landolfi, we did manage to squeeze it in to the commentary for the game against Leicester Riders. It got to like the fourth quarter, Sam, and I almost forgot about it.
We got a video, not video, we've got a playback here. Should we have a little listen to it?
Yeah, let's do it. Whack it on.
Here's Delpeche backing down inside, puts it up and in. Wow, the 2 is good for Delpeche. He's had a great game tonight. Of course, also combining his Flyers playing career with studying at the University of West of England. Big rivalry there with UOB. University of Bristol.
Fair play.
You got it in.
It is.
There you go.
I got it in. UOB. UOB.
Although you probably don't think there's a big rivalry, do you? Just bloodbath. Left, right, and centre.
Yeah, no rivalry there anymore. Not these days. Not these days. That means we've got a space available on our wheel, Sam, which I'm going to go grab now. But fellas, we want you guys to come up with a word to add to this week's word of the week before we give the word a spin. Have you got any ideas at all?
True bloodbath.
Bloodbath?
Yeah, bloodbath is not a bad idea.
You can do bloodbath if you want.
I like that.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, let's do bloodbath. I like that a lot.
Let's do it. Right, I'm getting the pen out. I'm going to add bloodbath.
Why don't you just write B? We'll know what it means, and we'll do the spin, and then we can add it afterwards. Yeah.
Feel me?
Oh, it takes 2 seconds. So bloodbath is going on.
Double B.
You just need to give us a good show on Friday, and it'll get it in easy. Yeah.
Hear me?
That's it.
There you go. Right. Are we ready, Sam? Are we ready to give this word a spin? Bloodbath's up there, along with all the other words that have been suggested by you, the fans. Are you ready? Let's give this word a spin.
No. It'd be crazy if it landed.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Oh,
That
no.
thing's broken, bro.
No, it's perfectly fair. It's bloodbath! It's bloodbath.
Crazy.
Bloodbath is the word. What are the odds in that, eh?
It looks like you've written blue bath.
I know, it says blood.
Yeah, bloodbath. I like that. Okay, Joel, let's see what you can do, okay? So you know what you got to do on Friday, and then we'll get that word in easy, okay?
Yeah, I'll add it into the commentary for Friday's game against the Surrey Scorchers.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, time to start wrapping up this podcast. We're on to our mailbag section. Fellas, before you guys came on, we put out a post on social media and on Instagram asking fans to send in their questions to you guys. We picked our favourites. Sam, would you like to go first with the first question?
Okay, Christian Hill on Instagram is asking, Malcolm, dunk or block, what is your favourite?
Ooh. I mean, it's probably I'm probably gonna say dunk just because it's nice, but I think the most effective one is definitely blocks. I think that I'm a defensively I would like to say I'm a pretty defensive minded player, so blocking is definitely more impactful as far as getting team wins and stuff.
Big double block on the Friday game, hey?
Yeah.
Huge double. I was loving that.
Yeah, that was massive. That was a game-changing play. Like those, when you can get a block like that, that can really change the momentum of a game.
Yeah, I think I've helped win more games off blocks than I have off just dunks. So.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than you doing a block which you're proud of, but then they just catch the ball and then score a layup or something as well. So you doing the double block is special. I love that.
Yeah, coach has a thing about it, doesn't he? He likes players to get hold of it after they block it, right?
Ideally.
That's his thing. That he doesn't want to if you block it out of bounds, they just get it back. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you can block it off the backboard and then catch it, similar to what he did for that Manchester game last season in the playoffs, you managed to chase it down afterwards and then hold on to it. It was awesome.
Like that Ja Morant one where he goes up and just two hands.
Yeah, we're going to see one of them, Malcolm. I want to see you go with 2 hands and catch it next time, yeah?
I'll try my best.
That's crazy.
Christian Hill also asks, this one's for you, Brandon, which Flyers coach has the best sneaker game? Malcolm's like nobody.
I don't know.
They were the same shoes every single day.
Yeah, the same shoes. Yeah.
What's coach wearing right now? What's he wearing? What shoes is he wearing?
Shoes was he wearing?
Those Air Force Ones or those Jordans?
No, chill. That the Air Force Ones.
He's wearing a pair of Air Force Ones, is he?
Don't worry, I'm gonna get him some shoes. Get some J's.
Get some Jordans. We get some Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s, do you reckon? Or some Dunks?
Some 4s.
Because Chris be wearing those Adidas.
Oh yeah, he so do wearing Adidas. The Adidas runners.
5 years those 5 years old.
Adidas runners. Love it.
The Adidas runners.
Coach, if you're listening, I think that's a little hint to step up your sneaker game from these guys. From these guys here. Another question here from Millie LVN on Instagram. What is better, Apex Legends or Call of Duty?
Oh, Apex. Easy.
Brandon, are you playing?
I'm with the Duty. I'm with the Call of Duty, yeah.
Yeah, you're a Call of Duty, are you?
Yeah.
Well, you play a bit of Warzone, are you?
Warzone, for sure.
Malcolm, you're part of the Apex crew.
Yeah. Not even a competition. Most of the guys on our team play Apex.
They do, They do, yeah. So, Brandon, anyone else playing Call of Duty on a team, Brandon, that you're...
Nah, nobody
by himself.
Just by myself, by my alone.
And 12-year-olds shouting at them across the room.
I'm going to get on the Apex, though.
Okay, Livergas on Twitter. He says, in practice, is it more important to focus on your strengths, so like looking for perfection, or work on your weaknesses, looking for improvement?
Yeah, your weaknesses.
You work on your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So like what, like if for example, like what sort of things is that important for you? Like rather than becoming like a master at like one thing, to be able to be more versatile on the court. Is that what you're saying?
Like, it depends though. We have times to shoot, so that's me working on my weaknesses. But at practice, I am working on my strengths because
that's what I would say too. Like I think it's circumstantial. Like off season is when you work on your weaknesses. I feel like once you're in season and you're mixed, like you got to work on your strengths, because at the end of the day, like you don't choose. You're not going to try to do something you're not comfortable with in game, because that's just more in most cases it's going to be more detrimental to your team's success. So. Circumstantial. So when you have your time to work on your game, work on your weaknesses. But if you're in practice or in game, you got to focus on your strengths.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Great stuff. Another question here. This one's sent in from Tom Kent from the Bristol Sport office. What is the biggest animal you could beat in a fight? Who are you taking? Like what size are we talking? What kind of size? What do you reckon?
I could definitely like take on like a baby elephant, a baby giraffe. Like I would give him work, or like a llama.
A llama.
I would definitely take, a llama or ostrich. Any of those things that like don't have teeth or carnivores.
Yeah.
I would take them down.
Nice.
A llama would just like spit in your face, and that's it. That's it.
That's what they do.
I'll back Malcolm in a fight against a llama. What about you, Brandon?
I don't even know. Can't even.
You fancy like a bear or a tiger or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I can get a bear. Little baby cub.
Koala bear.
Brandon Mahan versus Bear. Book it, WrestleMania.
Do me bad. No cap.
Tash Puddy on Instagram wants to know, what is your death row? What would be your death row meal? So if you had to have one final meal, starter, main, dessert.
Dark question.
Yeah, very dark question.
So your last meal.
Yeah, what's your last meal? If you could have one meal.
Chicken and pasta.
Starter, main course. Starter, main course, and dessert. What we saying?
Don't let your intrusive thoughts win.
That's crazy, you know.
I would say, like, realistically, I would say probably like first thing's coming to mind right now is like lobster. Like some really good lobster. With some butter, the whole like seafood shebang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's small.
And was that a starter or a main course?
I mean, this is a starter, I guess. Yeah.
It's a quick lobster starter.
It's like, I'll eat a starter.
I mean, if we're just talking about one meal, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But I could go on for,
what about like
this big? Yeah.
What about like a dessert? Like if you're having like dessert for your meal, what are you having? One dessert, your favorite ever dessert.
Oh, ice cream and apple pie.
Oh yeah, small. That do sound good.
Yeah, nice.
I was gonna say you should probably, your last meal should be fighting that elephant and then eating that elephant. That's what it would be.
No, that sounds bad.
I'm gonna leave that to the
No.
Outrageous. Fallon on Instagram. Malcolm, is this a friend of yours? F4LLON on Insta. Friend of yours? No. 3 shots of whiskey or lose a game against your brother Marcus.
3 shots of whiskey.
Yeah,
I do that for free.
Okay, we've got a couple more here because we're going to have to end it soon. Alfie Searle on Instagram, where do you both get your hair cut in Bristol?
I go to House of Fades. It's on Gloucester Road.
Nice.
Shout out to Callum, my barber.
What about you, Brandon?
I go to my guy named J. Enhanced.
Oh yeah, Enhanced. Yeah, I see him on Insta.
Yeah, check them out on Instagram. House of Fades.
Yeah.
They're legit.
Awesome. Great
Just
stuff.
plug them in.
Good plug there for.
What's he be going to too?
I go to House of Fades.
Oh, House of Fades. I'm tripping.
George T_UK on Instagram. Any pre-game rituals at all?
Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I would say, like, I'll generally like try to watch like a game, their most recent game of the team that we're playing, and then big meal, 2 big meals, and then a big breakfast, big lunch. I don't really eat anything afterwards because I don't like playing I like to play more so on an empty stomach on game day, and then I definitely got to get a game of Apex in because it just gets the competitive juices flowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you can shout at some 12-year-old kids on online, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works.
What about you, Brandon? Any game rituals at all on game day? Are you doing certain like shooting routines pre-game, or you putting certain shoes on one way or another? Or
Nah, I probably just listen to music, and then I'm gonna get in the gym, once we get there and get some shots up.
Yeah, just get loads of reps up pre-game.
Fans get the rhythm going.
We have 2 questions left.
Corey Samuels has been in touch. He wants to know. Corey wants to know. He wants you to both do your best Bristolian accents.
Here he go.
Go on.
Who wants to go first?
I think Brandon does.
Yeah,
Let me
Brandon.
go first.
Your Bristolian accent.
Bristolian accent. Hey mate, how you doing?
How you doing, mate?
How you doing, mate?
Right, mate. How you doing?
Right,
Malcolm?
lover.
Hello, governor.
Are you Bristolian?
Yeah, that's my best Bristolian.
Sounds a bit.
2 hours to London. That would be the way of doing it. Okay, final question. D. Lucas, 1991 on Instagram, wants to know what's been your favourite game so far this season.
Ooh, tough question. Very good question.
That's tough.
Any personal faves?
Oh.
Home or away?
I say London at home. First game, London at home.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The win over London Lions. That was massive.
Yeah, that's what I was honestly thinking of too. Just
Yeah.
because like they got so much buzz about them.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
underdog.
kind of like I think not like I said, we don't try not to get too high or too low about those things, but definitely like that kind of just said like look like we can play, we're here. Like you guys had us at 9th and 10th, and no one believed in us, but we believe in us, and that kind of just patented it right there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wise was rocking that night.
Yeah. But what about the game where you hit a 5 from 5 from 3, Brandon? Was that?
Or 6 for 6, I think
Oh,
it was.
6 for 6. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was a good game. We just didn't get to win that game, so
Mm.
Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah, I guess a good one for you personally, but not for the team, I guess.
yeah, for sure. So it wasn't good.
Great stuff. Well, that's all our questions. We're all fully wrapped up here with the mailbag section. Fellas, thanks so much for joining us this week on the Bristol Flyers podcast. Don't forget, we are available on all major podcast providers. Every single Wednesday, we'll bring you a new episode. Sam, anything else you want to add before we get this show on the road?
Nope.
No, great stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. We'll be back same time next week right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.